Household debt increased by $191 billion in one quarter. Total balances reached $18.78 trillion. At the same time, debt ratios barely moved. Balances rise across categories, and the pattern repeats. Mortgages increase, credit cards expand, and auto loans continue upward. Each quarter adds another layer. Delinquencies begin to rise at the edges. 4.8% of all household loans are now delinquent. Student loan delinquencies move higher faster than other categories. Yet overall borrowing continues. Credit expands even as demand weakens. Applications increase. Loan balances grow. Standards remain largely unchanged. This pattern appears stable on the surface, but the underlying structure is not symmetrical. The expansion is not driven by a single source. It is distributed across the system. Households carry the obligations. Banks originate and price the loans. Investors absorb the securities. Institutions maintain the flow. Each participant operates within defined incentives. Lenders earn from interest and duration. Investors seek yield stability. Households exchange future income for present access. The structure favors continuation. The mechanism becomes visible over time. Costs enter as fixed commitments. A mortgage locks in a payment. An auto loan defines a schedule. A credit card converts spending into a revolving balance. These costs accumulate, and they do not adjust downward easily. When new debt is added, it does not replace prior obligations, it stacks on top. When interest rates rise, new borrowing becomes more expensive, but existing obligations remain. The system does not reset, it layers. This creates a one-directional pressure. Expenses rise quickly, but they rarely decline at the same pace. Even when borrowing slows, obligations remain. Even when conditions improve, prior commitments continue. The system behaves asymmetrically. This explains the contradiction. Debt levels reach record highs, but debt-to-income ratios remain relatively stable. Income grows, and balances grow alongside it. The ratio stabilizes, but the obligation expands. The signal appears balanced, but the structure is not. The consequences appear gradually. Households adjust first at the margin. Discretionary spending declines. Savings absorb the difference. Lower-income households feel the pressure earlier, and delinquencies increase in specific segments. Credit access tightens selectively. Higher-income households remain less affected as asset values support continued spending. The system produces two outcomes simultaneously. Income continues to flow through lending activity while also increasing reserves for potential losses. The structure distributes impact unevenly. Over time, flexibility declines. Fixed obligations reduce room for adjustment. New borrowing becomes more constrained. Mobility slows. The system remains functional, but it becomes less adaptable. The pattern does not require disruption to continue, it only requires participation. Household debt expands because the structure allows it to. Fixed costs accumulate because they are designed to persist. New obligations are added more easily than old ones are removed. The outcome does not change until the structure does. Balances begin to decline when payments exceed minimum thresholds. They shift when interest is reduced and allocation changes. They resolve when revolving balances convert to fixed-term structures. They stabilize when balance expansion stops. These are not strategies, they are conditions. The system continues to expand obligations by default. It only contracts when the structure is interrupted. It only requires participation until the structure is interrupted. If you find these explorations useful, consider subscribing.